started right away and begin making a difference. And words like fresh energy and curiosity make you sound vibrant and ready to work, ready to add value from day one. So words like this combined with a confident attitude can really make a big difference. So thank you again for reading that. Now, for more information about job searching, please attend our Career Pathways workshop, which is held virtually every Thursday afternoon. Now, that workshop is designed to motivate and empower job seekers to become employed. And some of the topics that we cover in that workshop that may be relevant to you: understanding the job market. So the job market evolves with technology, industry trends, employer expectations. So staying current will help you remain competitive. And awareness of these changes allows you to adapt your approach, highlight relevant experience, and avoid appearing outdated. We also talk about identifying your skills and accomplishments, because mature job seekers often have extensive experience, and clearly identifying transferable skills ensures that employers will see your value. And highlighting your accomplishments demonstrates measurable impact, which builds credibility and distinguishes you from other candidates. We also talk about networking strategies, because networking helps you tap into hidden opportunities that may not be publicly advertised. We call this the hidden job market. And building and maintaining professional connections also combats age-related bias by showcasing your expertise and your reliability through trusted referrals. And finally, we talk about cover letters, because a strong cover letter allows you to address potential employer concerns, such as overqualification, or career transitions that you may have made. And it provides a platform to connect your experience directly to your employer's needs, which makes your application more persuasive. Okay, so our next topic is social networking. Almost 3/4 of adults in the US use social media of some type, primarily for entertainment or communication, but it is also a powerful tool for the job seeker. In particular, the social networking site LinkedIn is the world's leading professional network. It is used for career advancement, business development, learning, labor market information, recruitment, and yes, job searching. So let's take a look at one way that LinkedIn can benefit you through making connections with other people. So when we're making connections with other people, it's important first to connect with people you know, and that's how you're going to be able to connect to their connections. So connect with people you know, which increases your visibility on the network, and possible referrals, which can in turn connect you to people that you don't know. So when you reach out to people, you're reaching out to previous coworkers, previous supervisors, teachers you may have had, mentors you may have had, volunteer associates you may have worked with, military associates you may have worked with. It's a lot of different people that you can reach out to and that you will find on LinkedIn. So once you've connected with people, you want to create momentum. And you can do this by posting, so that's creating your own posts, responding to other people's posts, or reposting, which is taking a post someone else posted and posting it again. So doing things like that starts building rapport with other people, because when you comment on their posts and share the information that they shared, people like that. People like to be noticed and acknowledged. So creating posts on your own gets visibility for your connections. They can see what you have to say. So that's building that momentum, building that rapport. And it also shows that your account is active. So if you're using LinkedIn frequently, making use of all its features, and also positive, keeping your posts and comments positive and professional. Now, when you are connecting with someone that you don't know, once you've established with the connections that you do know, you want to reach out to people you don't know. So read profiles to look for common interests. See if there's anyone who is interested in the same things that you are, who is in the same field, and possibly could be a useful resource. So briefly tell them who you are and why you want to connect. You can tell them what your connection is. So you know so-and-so, I know so-and-so, here's how I know them. Aren't they a wonderful person? How do you know them? So that's how you build that rapport. So you want to do that before you start making any requests. Don't reach out to someone as a connection and then immediately start asking what they can do for you. That's not how networking works. So we want to make sure that we have established some kind of connection with someone first before we start in with the ask. So you can do that by watching for and reacting to their posts in a positive and professional manner. That lets them get to know who you are, and that's how you can build up that relationship. And of course, you always want to thank people for their invitations and also thank them for accepting your invitation. So that's just a quick note about connections on LinkedIn. Now, for more information on social networking, I do encourage you to attend our social networking online workshop, which is held virtually every other Friday afternoon. And in addition to a deeper dive in LinkedIn, in that workshop, you will get pointers on using social media to search for jobs effectively, to find those decision makers who can lead you into the job you want, refining your online profile so you can achieve optimal results, and making new career connections by building relationships. Okay, so next we move on to resume assistance. Now, a resume is still a vital component in almost every type of job application. A strong, thoughtfully assembled resume that can bypass applicant tracking software filters is essential to ensuring that the right people are noticing you. So let's take a look at how we can do that. Age, unfortunately, is not always an advantage when you're job searching, especially in a competitive job market, because hiring managers can view older workers as more expensive to hire, as having outdated experience, being overqualified, or not being current with today's technology and workplaces. And even though it is legal, sometimes they do discriminate based on age. So that is the unfortunate truth. I want to be very upfront about that, but we want to combat that. And one way that we can do that is overcoming that perception that your age is an issue is to age-proof and carefully edit your resume. So it's important to note that your resume doesn't need to include everything you've ever done. So as an example here, we see at the top of this resume, there's a summary section. Now that's usually the overall statement that talks about your experience. Now you'll notice the summary says, creative, innovative account executive with over 15 years of experience. Now, it's not saying how much more than 15 years of experience you have. You may have 35 years of experience in this job. But the point is, you have stated that you have a large amount of experience without putting such a specific number that the employers are going to try calculating your age. Okay, so you've highlighted your advanced level of experience, but you've omitted the exact number of years. Another example of how to do this is in this section, the previous experience section. So typically, if you were, say, a worker who was 30 years old, you would highlight each job that you've had and you would say how long you've been there. But if you have a long work history, that's not necessarily essential to your resume. Instead, doing it this way, where you just list the company, the location, and the position, and put it in a previous experience section, this format is drawing attention to the company and to the position, not necessarily the person's age. Okay, so that can be beneficial as well. Now, in a survey from a few years ago, more than 40% of workers over the age of 40 say they've experienced age discrimination at work in the last 3 years. And nearly 40% cite ageism as their top concern when trying to look for work. So as we saw in the previous slide, avoiding specific numbers over 15 years and selecting highlights from your career with a previous experience section helps to combat that unconscious bias from recruiters or from hiring managers. Now, similarly, removing the dates listed in your education section when you received your degrees will disincline employers from easily calculating your age. You certainly want to put your degree, you just don't need to put what year you achieved that degree. You can also remove any work experience that's older than 15 years and relocate it to the previous experience section. You also want to avoid mentioning any out-of-date technology that's not going to be relevant in today's job market, such as Fortran, QBasic, Lotus Notes, etc. And finally, use a current email address from a commonly used provider, such as Gmail, as opposed to outdated servers like AOL, Hotmail, or Juno. You want the perception that you have kept up with the times, and even if you have one of those older email services like AOL, Hotmail, etc., you can keep that for your personal email and create a new work email in a current service such as Gmail. All right, and so for more information on resume assistance, we actually have 2 workshops for you. The first one is called Resume Preparation, and that will assist you in building your resume, including the different resume styles, and how to use keywords effectively. And resume preparation class is offered virtually every Thursday, and we do have an in-person version for those of you who prefer that, and that's going to rotate between our 3 career centers every Tuesday. So one Tuesday it'll be at the North office, one Tuesday it'll be at the Central office, the next one it'll be at the South office, and so forth. Our second resume course, after you've taken resume preparation, is called Resolving Resume Challenges. And that helps you avoid common resume mistakes and discusses what hiring managers are looking for in a resume. Now, this class is offered virtually every other Friday, and we also have an in-person version that's going to rotate between our 3 career centers every Tuesday. The great part about this is, in addition to all the knowledge that you gain, after attending these workshops, you will be eligible to receive one-on-one assistance from the workshop facilitator. So I'm talking about personalized resume assistance at no charge from our workshop facilitator.
First, that's like mano, one-on-one?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, and you can do that in the format that suits you. If you prefer to do it over the phone or over Zoom, the workshop facilitator will work with you in whatever way you like.
Absolutely. Okay.
So, moving on to interview preparation. In a survey from a few years ago, so I'm just checking the chat feature here because I see that someone posted something. Could you have said years of experience in the summary? You can say years of experience, but if you say something like over 15 years, that's demonstrating the length of your experience without getting too specific. You know, years of experience could be 2 years, so you're trying to turn your years of experience into an advantage. So I hope that answers the question. Okay. So, acing an interview, whether it's over the telephone, virtual, or in person, that is your bridge from application to employment. With all the competition from other job seekers, it's imperative to take advantage of every opportunity for preparation and use every resource available. Now, everyone is talking about AI these days, so I'd like to quickly show you how AI can be utilized as an aid in your interview preparation. So you see here on the right a bunch of different AI services. You've probably heard of some or all of these. All of them can help you with this. And this is something that a couple of years ago we would not have been able to describe as a method of assistance. But nowadays, we can, and it's pretty amazing. So the first thing you want to do is construct a prompt by using the acronym ACE, Action, Context, Expectation. And in fact, using that acronym ACE with any prompt that you do with your AI interactions is going to get you a better result. the more well-constructed your prompt is, the better results you're going to get from your AI system. So here's an example of a prompt that you could use. Can someone please read this out loud for us? Anyone?
Hello, Chris.
Yes.
Read the little passage.
Yes, please.
Okay, please conduct a mock interview with me of 5 questions. The questions should be suitable for a first interview. Please ask the questions one at a time. Criteria, my answers. Here is the job description for the position.
Okay, thank you very much. Well read. So ordinarily, you would type in a prompt like this and hit enter, because we've got the action. We're asking for a mock interview of 5 questions. We've got the expectation, ask the questions one at a time and critique my answers. What we don't have here is the context. So this is where, instead of hitting enter, we're actually going to copy the job description from the website where we found it, and we're going to paste in the entire job description right here, and then we're going to hit enter. So that gives us context, and now the AI tool is going to be able to tailor all these interview questions specifically based on that job description. So that's pretty amazing. So it's going to ask you the first interview question. You're going to type in your answer, hit enter, and it's going to evaluate your answer. It's going to tell you what you did well and maybe some areas where you can improve. And then it'll move on to the next question until it asks you all 5 questions. And you can even save or print out the entire conversation when you've finished it. So it truly is a remarkable tool to use. Now, I do want to recommend as well that you are cautious when using AI, because remember the AI can make mistakes. So always verify any information that you get. And in fact, you are always able to ask AI to verify where it got its information from. So you can say, what is your source? And it will tell you where it got that information, and sometimes even provide a link to that information. Now, also, I want to caution you that AI does not replace a live person because it's only going to evaluate your answers themselves. It's not going to assess your tone, your volume, your friendliness, and other factors that are also critically important in an interview. So, with that being said, it still is a really useful tool.
So it's like a practice. That's all.
Yes.
One-on-one practice. That's what.
Absolutely.
Like
It's
talking
like a
to a
mock
machine.
interview
It's
for
like
you.
I'm talking to a robot, basically. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's just, it
Yes.
gives you practice. If you stutter and stuff like that,
Yes,
I get
and it will tell you, like I said, it will tell you how you can improve on your answer and what you did really well on your answer.
Right.
If any of you have interacted with AI, you know it tends to be really friendly and extremely supportive. So it's going to tell you what a wonderful job you're doing. And by the way, here's a couple of things you could work on, but it's very supportive and positive overall. So,
Chris, one more question. Go back
Yes.
to the other screen again.
sure.
Okay. What is it? You have Chat GBT, right? That's one.
Yep.
Gemini, right?
Gemini? Mm-hmm.
Gemini. And then is it AI or is Claudio AI?
Claude is a different AI from a company called Anthropic. So you would just type in Claude AI in a Google search and it will bring up the website for that particular one.
And then you have regular AI. Oh, it's the same.
It's all, these are all types of AI.
Oh, they're all AIs. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, Copilot is another one, that's through Microsoft. So any of these, if you go to a Google search and you type in ChatGPT, it'll bring you to that AI site. If you
Okay.
type in Copilot, it'll bring you to the Copilot AI system.
Okay.
So any of those.
Good. Okay.
So for more information on interview, we do have several workshops for that. One of them is the Interview Skills Workshop, which is offered virtually every Wednesday. And that alternates between the telephone interview skills, which is going to discuss your initial interviews, and the virtual and in-person interview skills, which addresses those second round interviews. So in these 2 workshops, we discuss the preparation stage, common interview questions, researching the employer, and how to practice in advance, just like we explored in the previous slide. Now, we also talk about what to do during the interview to make a positive impression and how to promote yourself effectively. Now, there is an in-person version of this workshop which combines those two workshops into a single 90-minute session, and that rotates between our 3 career centers every Tuesday. And then finally, we do offer an interview coaching and practice session workshop. That is a fully interactive class in which everyone is on camera and you answer a commonly asked interview question followed by feedback from all the other participants. So it's very intense, but it is wonderful practice if you have an interview coming up. Now, soft skills, you may or may not be familiar with this term, but soft skills are something that is talked about frequently in today's working world. And basically, what they are is a combination of cognitive, emotional, social, and other skills related to how you operate in any workplace and how you interact with others professionally. So soft skills are some of the most important skills to employers beyond their requirements of how many years of education and experience you need. They're looking for soft skills. So let's take a look at one of the most vital soft skills for mature workers, which is flexibility and adaptability. So there are many ways to be flexible at work, and one theory for the ways that we can be flexible at work is the JAI, or Job Adaptability Inventory. So as an example of how the JAI works, let's say that you have just been hired by a bank to work with customers. So we're going to use the JAI components to see how we can be flexible in our new job as a bank worker. So the first way is your physical adaptability. So this is about adapting to the physical and environmental conditions around us. If the bank president likes to crank up the air conditioning until you feel like a popsicle, are you going to want to complain about it when you just started the job? Probably not. If your last job featured nonstop noise, that's what you were used to, and this bank is quiet like a library, that may also take some adjustment. Next, we have technological adaptability, and this is about learning new tasks, devices, and procedures. If you've been trained on one program throughout your career and this bank uses a different one, how quickly can you pick this one up? So perhaps that requires some time outside of work, brushing up on the technology, watching some YouTube videos to get more familiar with it, whatever you need to do. Cultural adaptability means understanding others, their values, traditions, political and cultural differences, and even personal styles. You may have a customer with different religious beliefs. You may have a coworker with a different sexual orientation. Your boss may be extremely laid back, while the boss in your previous job was a micromanager. So part of this is understanding that no culture or style is superior or inferior to any other. Now, workplace adaptability is all about how we handle everyday work stress. If the deadline for a report that you have is moved up, do you curl into a ball and cry? If you don't have the answer to a customer's question, do you tell the customer, go away, I can't help you? So these aren't really options if we would like to keep our job. And finally, with uncertainty adaptability, this is where we deal with unpredictable or even emergency situations. If the power goes out in the building, if your coworker has a panic attack, if a customer comes in and pulls out a gun, you would need to remain as calm as possible while responding appropriately and decisively. So to summarize this, flexibility can make us stand out in a job application or in the workplace if we show that we can roll with it. Now, flexibility is just one of the 25 soft skills that we explore. So that was one. To learn about the other 24 skills, please attend our 2 soft skills workshops. Now, the first one is called Soft Skills Body and Mind. And in that one, we discuss physical skills such as body language, lifestyle, health, and professional appearance, and cognitive skills like critical thinking, time management, and problem solving. The other workshop is called Soft Skills, Feelings, and People. In that one, we discuss social skills such as communication, teamwork, and leadership, and emotional skills like integrity, self-motivation, and the one we just talked about, flexibility. So the soft skills workshops are offered virtually every Wednesday, and they alternate between the two different classes every Wednesday. Okay, moving on. So CareerSource Broward has a 90-minute course on money management with some brief points to consider on many topics and a variety of resources to take with you. So here are some simple tips that we've come up with for saving strategies and shifting our mindset. So some saving strategies. We start with automating your savings transfers. So one of the easiest ways to save consistently is to automate, setting up automatic transfers from your checking account into your retirement or emergency savings. This way, saving happens without you having to think about it, and you're less tempted to spend that money. Automating savings also helps you build discipline without relying on willpower alone. So over time, these small, consistent transfers can grow into a significant cushion that supports your long-term financial independence. Another saving strategy is reassessing your risk tolerance. So when you're 55 and over, it's important to review your investment mix. And you may want to shift towards safer options like bonds or balanced funds because they provide stability, regular income, and reduced volatility compared to stocks. So the goal here is not to eliminate growth, but to protect what you've already built. And your risk tolerance today may be very different from what it was 20 years ago. So adjustments are natural and to be expected. And by reassessing regularly, you are ensuring that your portfolio reflects the stage of life and your future retirement needs. Now, one more saving strategy is consolidating old retirement accounts. And many of us have multiple retirement accounts from different jobs. So consolidating them can make management easier, reduce your fees, and give you a clearer picture of your total savings. It also simplifies required minimum distributions when the time comes, which reduces costly mistakes. Because with everything in one place, you can more easily track progress towards your retirement goals and make informed decisions. Right, so that's just some quick saving strategies. Now, in terms of a mindset shift, we do recommend paying yourself first. So you want to think of saving as your first bill each month. Before you spend on anything else, make sure that you set aside money for your future, because this habit will build financial security and peace of mind. Treating savings as non-negotiable ensures that your future self is always prioritized. And over time, this approach creates a strong foundation that allows you to enjoy today without sacrificing tomorrow. Now, another mindset shift is regularly reviewing your plan, because life changes all the time. So things like health, family, and career are always shifting. So reviewing your financial plan regularly with a trusted advisor ensures your saving strategy stays aligned with your goals and needs. A regular review also helps you spot opportunities to optimize taxes, investments, or insurance coverage. So think of it as a financial checkup that keeps your plan healthy and responsive to life's changes. And the last mindset shift we're going to recommend is aligning your savings with lifestyle goals. And we see here a plane taking off, and we all have goals. Perhaps yours is travel. So we have to remember that savings aren't just numbers on a page, they're tied to your dreams. And whether it's travel or hobbies or helping out family, whatever it is, connecting your savings plan to what matters most to you. That can make saving feel rewarding, not restrictive. When your savings reflect your personal values, every contribution feels like progress towards something meaningful. And this emotional connection can motivate you to stay consistent even when you have other expenses that are competing for your attention. Okay, so that was just a few quick tips on mindset shifts. Now, for more information about this topic, please attend our money management workshop. And here are some topics that we explore that may be relevant to you. We explain secure versus unsecured debt and revolving versus installment credit. And we contrast the snowball versus the avalanche strategies for reducing debt. We encourage the SMART goals framework for both short-term and long-term goals. And SMART in this context stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So SMART goals for your short-term and long-term goals. We look at fixed versus variable versus discretionary expenses, so how to put your expenses into categories. And we talk about the 50-30-20 rule of needs, wants, and savings. We do mention some budgeting tools and how they can help you reduce your stress. We explain credit scores, credit reports, and the factors that influence them. And finally, we compare traditional banks with credit unions and other institutions. So that is all in our 90-minute money management workshop.
All right.
All right, so next, for our professionals who are in career transition, we do have specialized workshops to assist you. And we call these specialized workshops the PPN program. And PPN stands for Professional Placement Network. Now, to participate in the PPN program, attendees must have at least one of the following. If you have a 4-year degree, if you have managerial experience of at least 5 years, if you have had a salary of at least $45,000, or if you have military experience. If you have any one of those 4 things, that qualifies you for our PPN workshops. Now, our PPN workshops contain the same general content as our other workshops, but at a level suitable for the professional worker. So they include, and they're all 90 minutes long. So they include Secrets to Scoring the Job for Professionals, which looks at defining your professional career goals, developing your action plan, and preparing job search strategies. We also have Job Search and Networking Strategies for Professionals, which discusses finding and connecting with decision makers, writing cover letters, using multiple approaches in your job search, and following up effectively. We also have Resume Tips for Professionals, which covers the different styles and options for professional level resumes, the strategies for using keywords, how to present your skills, what hiring managers for high-level jobs are seeking, and common mistakes to avoid. And finally, we have Interview Skills for Professionals, which examines common interview questions for upper-level positions, preparation techniques, and making a positive impression to stand out from your competition. All of the PPN workshops are virtual, and they're all presented on Monday. Now, in addition to our workshops, CareerSource Broward is also here to provide general services to our mature workers. So let's take a look at some additional ways that we can assist. Resume preparation and updates. Our general staff can assist with creating or updating your professional resume tailored to the job you want, not just a generic document. And our staff can also help you identify your key skills, achievements, and keywords that match employer requirements so your resume will pass online screenings. Our staff also provide assistance with job applications. So the staff can go step by step with you, helping you complete online and paper job applications, including setting up accounts on major job boards and in employer sites. Staff may also assist you in reviewing the applications for completeness and strong responses to avoid common mistakes that can disqualify candidates. And finally, staff can assist in providing organizers to help you track your applications, upload your documents, and meet employer deadlines so you can stay organized and confident throughout your job search. Another thing our staff help with is building a career plan through coaching and counseling. So career coaches can meet with you one-on-one to clarify your career goals, your interests, and your transferable skills, and then help you map out realistic next steps. Our staff also assist in exploring training, certifications, or work-based learning that can increase your earning potential and your long-term stability. Staff can assist with interview preparations. You can do mock interviews with our staff members to practice answering common and behavioral questions and receive constructive feedback in a low-pressure setting. They can also coach you on highlighting your strengths and addressing gaps or transitions in your work history with confidence. And finally, they can provide practical tips on your professional appearance, your body language, and how to follow up so you make a strong impression on employers. Also, staff can assist you with a one-on-one job search assistance. They can help you develop and follow a personalized job search strategy rather than searching by yourself. Our success coaches can find quality openings, network with local employers, and tap into hiring events, referrals, and other hidden opportunities. And our success coaches will check in with you regularly to adjust your plan, celebrate your progress, and keep you motivated until you are hired and stable in your new role. Other services that we provide include the use of computers, phones, and fax machines. So all American Job Center resource rooms provide self-service and staff-assisted tools that will support your job search, career planning, and access to partner programs. So we have computers that, of course, have the internet, and you can use that for job search, applications, working on your resume, and online career tools. We have telephones available for employer calls, interviews, and program contacts. And we have printers, copiers, and fax machines and scanners for employment-related documents, such as resumes, applications, and verification forms. And of course, accessible technology and adaptive equipment as needed for customers with disabilities. We do offer connections to education and training opportunities, tools for labor market information, including in-demand occupations, current wages, and training opportunities that you may have access to. Our front desk and our resource room staff can answer questions, they can troubleshoot technology, and they can offer basic job search guidance. We do offer an initial assessment to determine the need for workshops, one-on-one career services, or referrals to partner programs. And helping create online accounts for unemployment insurance, job banks, or training providers. And finally, we offer self-paced materials such as handouts, videos, and online modules that work with job searching, soft skills, and career exploration. And finally, we do offer referrals to supportive services and community resources. So this is information on local supportive services such as housing, transportation, and different community agencies that might benefit you. All of that. Okay, so at this time, I would like to know, are there any questions for me? Okay, let me check out the chat feature. Of course, you are welcome to unmute yourself as well. Should you hide work experience older than 15 years from LinkedIn if it's still relevant to your career? LinkedIn requires dates when adding experience. Yes, if it's a situation where you are required to put a date, then I would not hide the work experience. If you have to put the date, you have to put the date. So you certainly don't want to minimize your experience And you never want to be untruthful. So if it's a question between, I was asked this in the other workshop, whether if you have to put in an application how many years you worked in a place, what should you do if it was a long time? And my advice is never lie in an application or in a LinkedIn profile or on a resume. If it's a choice between having to reveal your age or tell a lie, reveal your age. So what do you suggest for dealing the age? Can you clarify what you mean for dealing the age? 70. Okay, so it all depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the resume, there's going to be strategies for that. If you're talking about in an interview, there's ways to get around it in that. So the point is to take your experience and make it into a positive feature and not a drawback. So highlighting some of those things we talked about, the adaptability, the transition to technology, your fresh energy, your curiosity, how you've mentored others. All of those things point to the benefit of your experience. So beyond that, it's going to be specific to which particular area we're talking about. So I do encourage you to attend some of our workshops, and there you can get those specific tips for those particular areas. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned the support you can provide regarding money, enablement, if you will. Is there a kind of support we can get regarding reviewing financial plans or something similar?
So that's a very good question. We do not offer financial planning advice in general. So that is something you would need to speak to a financial advisory professional. We are not professional financial advisors. We do have our money management workshop, but those are more common sense tips that are broad and suitable for everyone. So